Okay, so now you're getting a sense of a little bit of the inquiry. That's where I want to go with you too, is as in your words, the heavy, right? I can see a shift happening actually in the time already, just in your energetic, but and you're getting the gist of it, and that's probably, hopefully you'll come for other things, but if not, this is a great thing to leave you with, which is welcoming and working with the layers, right? And just accessing what's there. We don't get anywhere with what we resist persists, and what we hate hates us back, right? And we're not taught these things often in our world and family about how to work with these emotions, and they tend to build up and do their thing. So the trick is, even though I'm the shifted coach, the shift more and more is like being, right? Accessing, meeting where you are, and there comes a shift when we do that. So what's going on now if we're to access where you are versus where you came in? Some of it might, of course, be similar, but what do you see prominent? You were starting to get into it when you were saying with Connie's, there was some verbiage you used that my instinct was to go to write it down because that was the place to enter. So I don't know if you can remember that or poke around that. It was all good until this. That's where I want to go, to that place.
I don't know. I'm feeling so lost, and it's really quite interesting that there was a guidepost through that language, and yet I can't access it.
Let's go to the feel lost. That's perfect.
I mean, it's like almost like I feel like asking someone else, which is so normal for me, is to go to someone else and say, where should I go?
Yeah. Okay, sweetie. So we're just going to go to lost. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's such a poignant, powerful term. And you brought it up when you first entered in. So let's go. And you're basically going to, well, meet it. So you're feeling lost. So you'll find your way, and you do energy work, you said. So you just meet lost. Lost has shown up on the scene here. And you just want to do a little bow or a little handshake. If you can muscle it, a little hug, right? Like just warmth to lost, right? Like, hello, lost, you're welcome here. Be welcoming to it. Probably the opposite of what you've been, because most people don't really like lost, right? Just like Connie and shame. So it's like, hello, lost, you're welcome. Just meet it. Give it some flowers. And just see what happens when you do that.
Yeah, when I welcome it, it's part of creativity to be lost. Um,
Beautiful. Okay, good. So right off the bat, I say, hey, you're a creative person. This is part of creativity. Bow to that.
yeah. Um,
So true, isn't it? Part of the creative process. Yeah.
I mean,
And life process.
it's how close to the edge are you willing to get? And
I think that's another aspect of yourself. I think it's shifted to that. Not sure who that is. That might be the mind, but let's get that down. How close to the edge? That's interesting. Do you want to get? Whoever or whatever that is within you, just welcome it.
yeah,
That's kind of a part that can analyze and see this, right? Because it's watching you with the loss, and it's watching you with creativity, and it's going, well, how close to the edge do you want to get? Is it concerned about the edge? What is it?
they're all part of the creativity. The edge is part of the creativity.
Mm,
It's
okay.
um, the creativity is the willingness to go into the unknown. And I guess what I'm
Mm.
seeing is this landscape, and everything looks interesting. And so I go here, and then I go there, and it's like, just not productive.
Okay, so that's okay. That's where there's the mind. So this stuff about the edge, that's part of creativity, and the unknown, that's part of creativity, because as artists we're always on that edge. But then the mind popped up and said, what did it just say? I lost it.
Productive.
Not productive? Right, that's right. You're wandering all over the place here. Damn it, that's not productive. Okay, so there's the mind. So welcome it. And you want to agree with it. You're right. From your point of view, mind, from your analytical linear point of view, that's not productive. You're right. And thank it. Thank it. because all of us have got brilliant minds, and thank goodness we do, because we need them in our world. Although if they're a one-trick pony, so we can get into trouble when all we do is mind, right?
Yeah.
So agree with it and just see what happens as you agree with mind. It might give you more.
I mean, that brings in my mother, who
Ah,
was and continues to be so outrageously productive. It's like just, you know, people say to me, how can she do it?
okay. So this is mind, and so mind's using mother and her outrageously productive mode, right, to flog, to judge, right? It's analyzing. So thanks for sharing. You're right. I do have an outrageously productive mother. Doesn't mean I have to be exactly like mother and I have a different life and blah, 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 right? So, but from the mind's point of view, that makes sense to it. But thankfully, there's other aspects to you too. So just see what happens as you acknowledge mind's perspective on it, but also acknowledge that there's more to you than mind.
I'm having a hard time leaving that spot
Okay.
with my mother. I mean, it's really, um,
So let's try this. I think we got a little orphan rescue to do.
yeah.
See, wherever it flashes, is there this outrageously productive stuff with mother? Was that growing up?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah. Okay. So is there a particular time in your life? Like, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
How old were you?
See, 60, like I was probably from 4 to 12 years old. But actually, like certainly when I was 4 years old, she sort of went into high gear.
Okay. So we're going to go see that little sweet 4-year-old. Where is she? If you're to go visit your 4-year-old,
The house I grew up in.
okay. And mom's doing her outrageously productive thing when you're 4 years old. So is she in the house or out of the house?
Yeah,
Where's mom?
it's there. There was also a community near our house,
Mm-hmm.
and so a lot of time was spent there. She was helping to organize a community.
Ah, okay.
And,
So mom's a busy community organizer.
yes, before
But
there was
then you got, yeah, but then you got this little 4-year-old who's having some stuff with a busy mom.
right.
Okay. So what is the best thing about being your current age?
I love being this age. Actually, I
Yeah,
really do. It's
tell
like
me about it. What's great about it?
there's just a lot more forgiveness.
Yep.
It's really been it's been nice getting older. And then I loved going through menopause because I mean, there is a reason that men are scared of menopausal women. I felt so powerful.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean,
Forgiveness and powerful, anything else. I'm just anchoring in your current now consciousness because we're going to go down, do some orphan work, and your adult you now who's got forgiveness and power. What else does your adult now you have? Forgiveness, power. What else is delicious about being this age?
oh, so much knowledge. I mean, so much
Beautiful.
knowledge collected along the way, unexpected knowledge, things that I didn't want to learn but have. Um, no, that's a good thing too.
Okay, so we're going to bring all this, your forgiveness, power, and knowledge, your now self, and we're going to time travel. You're going to lead the way because you know where the house is, and actually you're going, I guess, to this community, right, where your mom's out and about, and you're there with her, and you're 4 years old. You're going to lead the way, go find her, and you may see this, you may just know it, feel it, like however you do this with your clair abilities is my word, right? Your subtle energy abilities, just allow it. find yourself there. I'm going to come behind you. Connie might even come with us too. And we're going to freeze frame everybody except for little you. So little 4-year-old, mom's there, the community's there, we've frozen all of them, but little you is there. The first thing you want to do is introduce yourself to her. Basically, hi sweetie, I'm your future self. How does your little kid react to you? She's probably very empathic.
Oddly enough, anger
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
about who are you to come here now? Like, like stop, stomping my feet anger that leave me alone.
Very good. So you just tell her, you're right, your anger. Stomp away, kid.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And it's a legitimate question. So I'm going to kind of pop up. So, uh, hey, little Barbie. Hey, Barb. I'm a friend, I'm a colleague of your future selves from way out there in the future. And the reason why, who are we to come here now, is because your future self, you are so important. There's stuff going on for your future self around your mom and her outrageous productivity. And we've been brought to you. That's how important you are. And I totally acknowledge your stomping of feet and you're angry because I'm guessing mom's really busy with a bunch of other stuff as opposed to you. And the messages that you're getting now at 4 years old are such important messages. That's why we're time traveling to come and visit with you. See how she responds to that. You're the translator, Barb, so let me know how that lands for her.
Oh, I mean, the point about the messages is huge. And Connie, you are so meant to be here. This was an African American kinship community that, you know, they had no plumbing in the 60s, and the county was getting ready to take over their land. And my mom helped them organize. And so now their house is there for them. But there was a woman who was kind of the heart of the community. And I only just recently learned that she was a foster parent. That's how she supported herself. And so she created this incredible sense of safety around her. It's like she just was the mom of the community. And so it's like there are these messages that I learned from this Black community that, you know, who would expect someone like me to have had?
Mm.
Um,
Ask her for the messages. Thank you, sweetie. Let us know what the messages are, because you saw another mode of being, and it's really important.
just the importance of community. I mean, it really, that was such a strong community. And even when I was really little and everybody had to leave their houses because they were going to be building the new houses, I asked my mom, well, what about the people? And I just was really concerned. I mean, I'm an architect, and even that age, I was concerned about the changing of the shape of the community, that what would happen after, even after they came back to their new houses. Because everybody had to move out. They had to find housing for everybody before they could tear down where people were living so that they could build houses with plumbing. But it was a really, really strong community. And I've only just now put together, I mean, literally in the last year, how important community is to me and why.
See if you can spot that female Black leader in the crowd,
No, yeah, I mean,
and let's unfreeze her. And we'll quickly introduce ourselves. This is Barb all grown up, and she may have transitioned, gone to a different place because it's been however many decades, but we're still able to tap into her. And let's say to her, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on here in 2020, and grown up Barb is doing her best to deal with all the things that are on her plate. And one of the things that she's coming up against is the modeling from her mom. No knocks on her mom for being very productive, but this production, this drive is in a way been kind of twisted on Barb and become an unhealthy mode. We're coming to you. Do you remember the woman's name?
Mrs. Mason.
Mrs. Mason, we're coming to you for your wisdom and for maybe some different modeling, because Barb's mom sounds like she did very important work by the sounds of it. But this outrageously productive stuff has had some ramifications. Mrs. Mason, see what Mrs. Mason has to say about it.
What she's saying, it's very interesting. She's saying the strength of slow.
Whoa. Tell us more. I just got major goosebumps.
I mean,
What does she want you to know? What is she teaching you? What's her message?
um, it doesn't, her message is that things don't always happen right away,
Mm-hmm.
and that you keep true to who you are. So part of why all of this has come up so to the surface about that community is there was an exhibit at a museum about it recently, and one of the stories that my mom told me that I didn't know is that my mom had arranged for our, at that time, segregated pool, because it's Maryland, and that there would be hours when people from the community could swim. And Mrs. Mason said no. She said that's not what we would want. And so they didn't take up the pool on that.
So
And
there's an example of keep true to who you
yeah,
are.
like she was such a strong person. And also I just keep thinking about the person. They set up a nonprofit to make all of this work, and it was a man. And like my mom was often the first woman to do anything in a lot of her positions. And I just think about, I mean, Mrs. Mason was the power there, and yet they put a man in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, there's this very, like, many times repeated photograph of Mr. Crawford taking an axe to the house at the groundbreaking ceremony. And it's like, I can't even see Mrs. Mason in the photo. Like, I don't think she's in the photo at all.
So this is coming up. Consciousness is showing this for a reason. I'm not quite sure. So I want to ask consciousness, or ask Mrs. Mason, why is she flashing this to you? There's a message in here. What's the message? Ask her direct. You got the message. Yeah.
And it might not be my lifetime.
Ah, the bigger trajectory. Yeah. Whew. More goosebumps. Might not be your lifetime, she's telling you. Might not be in your lifetime. These are bigger shifts.
Yeah,
She had the big picture view and lived it,
yes, she did.
and the prices that came with that. Bow to that, welcome that, thank her for that wisdom. Anything you want to say back to her? This is a dialogue, right? Anything you want to ask her? Here you are in 2020 and you're dealing with the various things that you're dealing with.
I just want to thank her. She had so much love.
Mm,
She just
by
had,
all means, thank her. Tell her you had so much love. Thank you.
this is very funny. I don't know if she loved me because I was my mother's daughter or she just loved me because she had so much love.
Ask her. Hey, did you just love me because I was my mother's daughter?
I think a little. Yeah.
There's, that's why she came in. Like, that's how she met you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But she just had so much love. She was just such a force.
Mm,
And I wonder how the kids that she fostered turned out. I
hmm
wonder, that's a funny thought that I think.
See, because part of what's going on with you is stuff going on with your children, parenting, caretaking, right?
Yeah.
And your own mother and her role was causing the psyche and the nervous system some problems. Mrs. Mason's moving up, and I'm guessing it's another offering you another model, right? And some other messages. So let's get it very specific to what does she want to guide you about your current situation?
It should more acceptance. I would imagine in the Black community it's grace. Um, she just had more acceptance and less expectation.
Okay, so she's telling you more acceptance, less expectation. So with your current circumstances and what you're wrestling with, the way to be is not outrageously productive, but is actually more acceptance, less expectations, a longer trajectory, longer runway. What else? Anything else?
Um, I don't know where to find the community that they had, but that's what I want.
Community. She's telling you, get yourself some community.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
strong.
Yeah. Agree with her. Thank you. You're right. Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely thank you for a model that we don't see often.
How how special and how incredible she's showing up to give you a different way of being, right? Because you've got, understandably, we're not making the orphans wrong, and they only had one model and they saw the outrageously productive. It's resulting in exhaustion. We're seeing some similar overlays, right, Connie? The doing, right? And now Mrs. Mason is giving you a different way of being, a different modeling, a different patterning that you can go to. And you can continue this conversation, right? We've
Great.
just, you
Thank
can do it
you.
on your own, but see while I'm here and we've got this particular container, if there's anything else she wants to communicate to you or you to her.
I just had never really realized that she was there for me too.
Yeah. So tell her, now I know, now I remember.
Yeah, now thank you that while my mom was doing what she was doing, you helped me. You took over for while mom was doing her stuff, you became present for me.
I think you've just also, she's identified herself as a guide or an ally for you,
Yeah,
right? So she's going to be not just this one time, but if you care to, you're an artist, you can paint her, you can communicate with her, you can journal with her. You've got a surrogate mom in a way that can help you during this time. Check to see if I'm right, if I've read this right. Is there an offer from her that you can dialogue with her?
I think not entirely because she had so much hardship that she was dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
and yet there was this acceptance from her. I think that what she was capable of doing is accepting you where you were at.
Wow. Okay.
I
There's
mean,
the message. That's what she's wanting you to get across and why she's shown up. Acceptance of where you're at.
Yeah, I don't think she has much time for me.
Okay, fair enough. She's clarified. So she's like, nope, no ongoing allyship here, but I'm happy to deliver the message. Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, but that's a gift. That is a really
Yes, totally. Yeah, she's shown up and given you a gift, and she's given you the way out, so to speak, right? The alternative from how you've been doing it. There's another way.
yeah.
So thank her for that. And if there's anything you want to give her back as a gift, you've given your thanks, but and thank her for showing up and communicating across the veil to you today. How beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, now we'll yeah, and so she goes back to from where she came and just thanking her for her appearing, and then we're going to all time travel back to now, being here in front of the computer going, well, that was a fascinating journey. Like, that, isn't that amazing that Mrs. Mason popped up to give you acceptance, the concept of acceptance, of more acceptance, less expectations, reminding you about community. You're in one right now, so cool. You're doing good. You know, you're attracting community to you, and there will be more that will unfold. And you know, some of this might not be in your lifetime. Keep true to who you are, and things don't always happen right away. So beautiful nuggets. Just see as you come back to your own nervous system, that might be where we needed to get to, but see if the mind's doing anything, or does it how's it feel in your body?
There's more openness in the heart center.
Yay.
You know, it's not quite as heavy as it.
Yeah,
This
good.
will this will ruminate. This will.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, that's a
Wow.
good sign. Yeah.
Thank you for staying. I mean, thank you for witnessing.
That was really, it's amazing, isn't it? Just the synchronicity is not synchronicity, it's grace. And Connie needing to be here, right? So how it all connected. Wow. Okay, so Connie, anything you want to say to complete?
Yeah, I just want to bring a question you brought up, though, because you just moved, Barb, and you're an architect, and you asked, that 4-year-old self asked what would happen to people who left their home, even though they knew they were getting another home.
Oh, thank you.
So I just want you to explore that for a little bit too. Because you've been ruminating on that through your life, and you just went through that change. So
yeah, no, I miss my old home.
Yeah. And the fact that
I didn't catch that. Very good.
And the fact that your new home is closer to your mother, and the way you were processing things, even that love. Did that love come to me through my mother, or can I get that love myself? So give yourself permission to build community without necessarily having that funnel.
Yes, thank you. That is really helpful.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And thank you for witnessing. It was very helpful for me, because some of what I was describing is so outside of the white experience that was so central to my youth that there's not a lot of people I can process that part with.
Well, I'm laughing because my words for this week were grace and humility, grace and humility. I just kept saying that. And finally, my boss, who is Black, said, I have lived in this community for a year, and I haven't met grace or humility. I've met Fred, I've met Anne, I've met blah, 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 but I've not met any grace or humility. So that's it. You want to meet your grace again, too.
And it's funny that your two words were humility, because my husband and I were talking about the young have no humility. And I said, well, no, they don't. You know, that's a ridiculous thing to expect of somebody young.
That's right. It comes a little later in life.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me stay. That was really powerful.
Yeah.
And thank you for going over time.
Yes. Yeah. No, it felt
Where it
important to
goes.
do. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. That was really huge.
Well, that's who we are today. I figure out once I wrap one up, I just take a look at the calendar and figure out when the next one is. So you're on the list now, so you'll get notification when that is. FYI, there's a shift at weekend coming up. So next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm doing a shift at intensive. I've just really been getting the message to do it before the fall because I think we're going to have a crazy, hairy fall. So just wanted to give people support and grounding and get ducks in a row before we go down the chute into this fall. So keep that in mind. Repeaters are free. So you've been through shifted. Connie, I think you're already signed up for it, right? Yeah. So Barb, that might be one if that suits. I know you're busy, so it's recorded as well. So if you can't make them all, but that's another place. And I've got a accessibility rate as well for people who are financially impacted. So, okay, well, take good care, and hopefully I'll see you. If not, so profound to have you drop by today. So,
Yeah, no, you'll see me. Thank you.
yeah. Bye, Connie. I know I'll see you, I hope. Yes. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, take care.